Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Closer to Confession podcast, where confessions become connections. On today's episode, I want to talk about something that I am very passionate about. And this is my relationship with God. So I want to talk about how I got into it, how I was saved, and how it has actually changed my life practically on my everyday interactions, on personal, my professional life, my relationships, everything. Okay, so I want to start with how I want to say saved. So I come from a very Christian family, but I was baptized Christian when I was very young. Um, but it was more like a forced thing. It wasn't out of choice because I didn't know Jesus back then. Also, um, my father that was coming from a very, very Christian family, and he's all about the church and all that. Sad to say, he's not the father of the year. Um, he abandoned us. He gave a really hard time to my mom. Anyways, now he wants relationships, but with me. But yeah, the point is that in my head, how can a person that says that he is a Christian and he's all about church treat their own family like that? Like, it's so hypocritical. I've also met other people that were, you know, called identified as Christians, and they were in real life terrible human beings. So that kind of like pushed me away from church. And then London, I moved to London again. In Greece, religion is very connected to our culture. So, Easter is very big. There's different celebrations. So I didn't have that in London. So that was another force to push me away from my faith. And then it was like a trend, the law of attraction trend. Everybody has read the book, and it was this different ideology, belief that kind of resonated with me because I'm a person that visualizes a lot. I call it daydreaming. I've daydreamed about coming to the US, and it was something that would make me happy in the moment. And yes, I was very big on visualizing. So law of attraction is about visualizing and manifesting. But the problem is that you become your own God. It's like the most narcissistic thing and egoistic thing, I think. Because you in based on the law of attraction, you just take care of yourself. It's all about you want to become, or things to get, and it's all about you. It's never about serving others. Which is in Christianity is the opposite. It's like, okay, maybe you want this specific person or this specific job, but maybe that's not the right thing for you. Well, Love Attraction tells you, even that person that you want is in a relationship, you can manifest them to get out of the relationship. How terrible is that? You literally only care about yourself. It's the opposite of Christianity. So I started getting into Love Attraction, following these influencers and YouTubers and everything. And they were all making videos, but they were not really saying anything. Oh, this video is gonna be how I manifest this and that and that. And I would watch them and try to find like the point, but it was always the same idea. But I was following religiously, I must say. Anyways, when COVID happened and things were terrible for everyone, and I found myself in like a really bad situation. I was depressed. I couldn't work. So that was gave me a purpose. You know, I was, yeah, very depressed. I think I hit rock bottom. And I needed a change. And I prayed. And even though I didn't believe in God, I just prayed to God, and He delivered. Like, I didn't even deserve it at the time, but I was so desperate, and I realized that love attraction is not working for me. So I prayed without faith, and He delivered. So, oh my God, cannot be a coincidence. And there's other things I really ask for help. I don't want to say that He's not my genie to ask from Him everything that I want to have them delivered to me, but He was my only hope, and He delivered every single time. So I just started being very curious. I had never read the Bible, so I started like watching YouTube videos, um, understanding so many things, understanding what it means to finding Jesus. Because people have told me before, I hope you found Jesus, you find Jesus. And in my ears, it just sounded kind of like, oh, look at me, I'm so much better than you, and I hope you find Jesus. I thought it was almost an insult. I know, wild. So yeah, I understood what it means to find Jesus. I understood what it means to have a relationship with Jesus. Because before that, I just didn't understand that there is a very intimate connection. I thought that we were separate, that he's higher up above and we're just like living our lives here and we're not living together. I didn't know that I can have Jesus next to me when I drive on the freeway. I didn't know that when I'm anxious about things, even when I'm not feeling well, that Jesus is there, like holding my hand, taking care of me. I didn't know all these things. I didn't know what he went through on a Good Friday. I didn't understand what it means that he was sacrificed for our own sins. There's so many things that I heard them, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. So, as I said, I started researching, I started learning, and the more you learn and the more you connect with other people, the more excited I would get and everything would make sense in my head. Um, it's just like I found a new life that I had no idea about. And things that I suffered, I saw why I had to go through that suffering. And I want to start with a big one, that is anxiety. I've always, even after I found God, I always thought, why do I have to go through this? Like I've been through so many things, my parents' divorce, a narcissistic boyfriend, eating disorders, um, the struggle moving to new countries, um, not having my dad. So I'm like, isn't it that enough? But then I thought about it. Because as much as I hate anxiety, I know that it has saved me from other things because I know myself. And I'm going to elaborate on that. There's things that I quit doing because of anxiety, because of knowing that I have anxiety and that certain habits and certain things would make it worse. Before I had anxiety, I was fearless. I didn't really like take care of myself. I would abuse things um, through eating disorders or have a really bad relationship with alcohol or I didn't do any drugs, um, but I did try kratom and it just gave me the same like effect that's been buzzed, but without the hangover. So, um, if it wasn't for having anxiety, I don't know if I would have stopped it. And also my anxiety, it was that reason why I managed to break up with my boyfriend, my narcissistic boyfriend. Because before I had this big anxiety attack, I was keeping everything inside. I was not setting boundaries. I was not respecting myself. I would be a puppy and I would go after him, move back to London, which I hated, for him, put him on a pedestal. And it was just like a big slap in the face to wake up. That was through anxiety. So I can see why God gave me that. And now, as much as I still have the anxiety attacks and I still go through it, I came to a point that I appreciate it. And it feels good, not to be the victim anymore about, oh my poor me, I have anxiety, But there was a time like very recently that it was really bad and nothing was working for me and I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I'm not gonna say that it's gone completely away, but I am in so much better state. Like it's so hard to describe. I got to the point that my body would be on anxiety mode all day for weeks. Like my hands would feel like tingles, like my whole body was vibrating all day. It was really bad. And not that I was going through like my mom was in town, my younger sister was in town, we're celebrating my birthday. I had my work, I had my, my podcast and everything. Nothing like very stressful was happening, but my body was in a stress mode for months. And I prayed and prayed and prayed. And it was up to the point that I reached out to see a therapist, which I didn't see anybody because, again, I don't want to say that it went away, but I'm doing so much better. Another thing that my relationship with God has helped me with in my day-to-day life, my actual life, not just words, not just theories, but actual results, is me putting people or things on a pedestal. I would put specific guys on a pedestal or specific jobs. And each time I would get obsessed, checking my phone, checking my emails, do they text me back, trying to manipulate ways to see them, when I know deep in my heart that they're not good for me. And with this person for like the last 2 years that I've been trying to, anyways, even though I knew he's not the right person for me, there's something that would like really attract me to him and make me. It was like a drug. Even thinking about him would make me feel, the highs, those highs. And then it was a perfect situation because he would give it to me, but then not commit to things. So I would get the lows and it would be a cycle. So then I realized that no, the only person that I have to put it on the pedestal is Jesus. He's the one that loves me unconditionally, would never let me down. He's my example of like the ideal man, a leader that sets with example, somebody that is humble, and even though he's so powerful, so humble, somebody that would sacrifice, go through hell, literally, not just physically, mentally as well, because in the Garden of Yosemite, he knew what he was gonna go through. Like that suffer, that like mental chaos, it's insane. So yeah, that's an ideal man that would sacrifice himself for others. He washed people's feet, setting by example. No pride, no having people serve you. It's how you can serve others. So if anybody asks me, he's my ideal man, by the way. But yeah, he really helped me to take people and situations and things that I want off a pedestal, because he's the one that I should always have on a pedestal. And also self-control. This is obviously something that I struggled for years when I was going through the eating disorder, with like unhealthy habits that I've tried. I've tried so many times to get rid of by myself, but I know I don't have the discipline to do that. Like I'm very disciplined when it comes to working out, work. I'm really good at that. But when it comes to like myself, I didn't have the discipline and the self-control. And I knew that I would not be able to have anybody else help me either. I feel blessed that I was open, and I got the chance to be saved. And it's such a, like, there's a whole new world right now that I can't believe that there's still people that don't want to accept it, that they're not open to learn about all this stuff. And that would be like my twin sister. But I guess it's not her time. I don't want to push anything to her, but I've learned so many things by studying the Bible or watching all these videos, and I want to share because I'm so passionate and excited. It's a whole new world. It's a different world. It gives me hope, like knowing about eternal life with him. It gives me hope. It doesn't make death feel so terrible. But it has also, my relationship, finding God, has also changed me in other things. Like I still work on, like I see things and I'm like, okay, he would not be proud if I was doing this. Like I stop, says I'm about to say something about somebody else or like gossip. And I'm like, he would not be proud if I did that. I'm not saying that it works 100% all the times, but even the times that I give in the back of my mind, I'm like, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that. It does change you and your relationship with other people. Like there's a situation with a boss, one of my bosses that this person is it's a very difficult person, and I prayed for them because I know they were going through a real hard time, and I know that she's doing so much better now. I'm not saying that she's different, she's still the same, but I prayed for her, and I can see that she's doing so much better. But yeah, it will change you. Like there's no way you're a Christian or just a follower of Jesus and you haven't been changed. If you really are. I'm not talking about the people that go to church every Sunday, but during the week they're terrible human beings. I mean, if you are saved truly and changed, there's no way you want to apply those things to your everyday life. I'm not saying that we are perfect, obviously. Nobody is. We're still human beings. We still have the desires of the flesh, which they go against our spirit sometimes. We're still gonna have those urges, but I guess we are open, to stop and think first and then say, hey, would Jesus would be proud of me if I did this or if I said this? So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about for a while. I really hope that a lot of people are opening their eyes and they find Jesus, like deeply in their hearts, and they become curious and excited and they see this whole new world that is out there through his eyes. I'm still gonna be doing my research and trying, because a relationship with God is an everyday thing. You have to practice every day. It's not just on Sundays. What I do is I go to the gym and I put a podcast or a YouTube channel and I learn about, Paul and John and Jesus' teachings. Or you can watch a movie like The Passion of the Christ. It's a deep movie. It's not easy to watch. It's very, very hard. But then you see exactly what happened. You see what he did for us.